we have the current stock market update for NVIDIA Corporation, stock ticker NVDA. Before we begin with today's chart analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts below in the comments section so that other traders will be able to find this information more easily on the platform. So here we have the 4-hour price chart, and each candle on this price chart represents a 4-hour trading period. So what we can see here is if we sort of drill into the price chart a bit, we can see that the stock is trading under a bit of selling pressure after forming a fairly significant trendline break here. That came with these highs at 127.66. So that would essentially be this price break here. This is a very significant price move here because what we can see if we sort of drill out on the price chart here, this is a longer term trend line. This goes back all the way to the all-time highs, which were posted on June 20, coming in at 140.76. So, if we do see a clear trend line break here, this is a significant move to the top side. But what we're starting to see here is a bit of selling pressure here. And, the risk here to the downside is that if we break some near-term support levels, which we will define in this video, if we break these near-term support levels, this could actually start to be viewed as a false breakout to the top side. If we're seeing a reversal here, it becomes more, increasingly likely that what we actually are seeing here is a failure at the trend line rather than a break of the trend line. So the real question is, how do we know this? How do we know the difference? So specifically, what I would be looking at here would be the support zone, which has formed right around 115.40. If we do see a break below there, that would then remove some historical support from the equation here. So that's essentially, this region here, we have seen some support that has started to form. And actually, you can see on the shorter term time frames, there has been a reverse head and shoulders pattern that did start to develop here. And it's not a bad looking reverse head and shoulders pattern because typically, what I prefer to see in those patterns is a higher right shoulder when it's an inverse pattern. If it's the normal pattern, sort of the typical head and shoulders, I prefer to see a lower right shoulder. And in this case, what you can see here is the left shoulder, then the head of the pattern, and then a higher right shoulder. So not really surprising here to see that share prices did manage to bounce, but we are getting a failure here right at a very critical level. This does come in right near this major trend line break, quote unquote trend line break, because we're not really sure yet if this is a legitimate breakout. The real issue here is going to be whether or not we break below this 115.40 area, and there are a few different reasons for that. One is that it's an area of historical support. Two, we would be breaking through 3 exponential moving averages if we did lose 115.40 as a potential level here to watch to the downside. And then on top of that, you do have this short-term inverse head and shoulders pattern that did start to develop on those time frames. So you've got a few different signals here at once. And if all 3 of those break at the same time, then you have to start looking at this upper region here as really being a false breakout to the top side. So there are some real questions here, about whether or not share prices can continue to move higher. In my view, what really needs to happen at this point is you need to, at the minimum, you need to see a break, a bounce, I should say, off of 115.40. If you see a break below there, that would be a fairly significant bearish event on these shorter term time frames. If we do see a bounce from here, then it starts to become easier to then break through ultimately that longer term downtrend line, because it's a fairly rapidly descending downtrend line, and we would really only need to see share prices probably recover that 125 area. Depending on exactly when this happens, that's the real issue here. It's price and time that's the issue. But you could probably see a break back above 125, and then see this downtrend line break once again. So, if you continue to see tests of this area, if you continue to see a downtrend line that's pressured over and over again, eventually it starts to break. I mean, just imagine you've got a battering ram and you're trying to break down a door or something like that. If you keep breaking, if you keep beating into that door, keep hitting that door with your battering ram, eventually that door is going to come down. So it's a bit similar here with technical analysis, because if you continue to pressure these levels without much downside retracement, I mean, eventually, more than likely those levels are going to break. So, as things stand here, there are some real questions. I mean, this might seem like a fairly insignificant downward price move here. We're only talking about a couple of dollars at the moment. We're looking at from roughly 127.66, and the near term low is coming in at 118.10. So, you're not even talking about a full $10 in share prices here. But I do think that this is actually a fairly critical inflection point, at least for, the next week or so, next week or two. Because, if we do see some continued downside here and then a break below 115, really the next support zone that you can see comes in at this 200 period exponential moving average, which is right around 111.30 at this point. So that would be the next real level to watch to the downside. This 113 area is sort of that inverse head and shoulders pattern that has started to develop here. That price formation would also, though, break if we did break below 115.40. So, there are a few different signals here that are happening at the same time, and that might seem like an insignificant price movement, but I think the eventual break that we see here in either direction is going to be quite telling for the next probably week or two. So, as things currently stand, if we did see a break below 115, as I said, the next level to the downside is that 111.30 exponential moving average support zone. But other than that, if we did see a break below there, then we have to start to look at this trend move here as being fairly important, fairly significant. And then, the 618 retracement, yeah, really matches up with this 200 period exponential moving average, which is this blue line here. So, this is a fairly significant area at the moment. 111.30. I should really mark that in on the chart here, because this is starting to shape up to be an important level. This is all if we do see share price breaks to the downside. However, I mean, we're not there yet. We haven't exactly seen that yet, but we sort of try to prepare in advance for what could happen here. We could see a bounce off of 115.40, and then if that is the case, all you would need to do is reclaim that 125 level roughly, and then that would force a break again of this longer term downtrend line. And I do think that if we see another near term test of that downtrend line, I think that it breaks more convincingly. So here's the current stock market update for NVIDIA Corporation, stock ticker NVDA. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market. Lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership, and start trading stocks with the pros.